right now. So we're on Facebook. We're on YouTube, guys. And we're taping our show for this Saturday. This is Las Vegas Real Estate Now. It will air on KDON at 11 a.m. on Saturday. And when you listen to us today, you're going to hear Stacia Brain from Old Republic. And stick around and listen to us tape the show because it's always interesting. You never know what she's going to say between segments. and then, but if you want to wait, or if you want to compare it, maybe you want to compare it. Listen to what happens here, and then see what comes out in the edited version on Saturday. So you can do both. Not that you don't have better things to do on a Saturday, maybe. I don't know.
Well, you know what, though? It's been windy. I have to clean up the pomegranates in my backyard, so I can listen to it while I'm cleaning up my backyard.
There you go. That's right. While you're doing your honeydew list or you're knocking out your chores, you can turn on the radio and listen to the edited version on Saturday on KDON. That's 101.5 FM. Okay, so I'm just going to get right into this. We got Stacia here. We're going to go ahead and just start segment one. Here we go. Welcome to our show. This is Las Vegas Real Estate Now, where we bring you the 3 E's. Educate, empower, and engage. We want to help you to make your real estate decisions wise ones for you and your family. I'm your host, Harvey Blankfeld of the Mullen Blankfeld Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. And we have over a century of collective real estate experience. I'm a licensed agent here in Nevada. My NRED number is S.00488897. On this program, we're dedicated to delivering timely, balanced truths about local market conditions. If you ever have a question or an idea for our program, please call or text me at 702-203-1165. Again, that's 702-203-1165. Today on our program, we have a returning guest. We have Stacia Brain here from Old Republic Home Protection. Welcome back, Stacia.
Thank you for having me again.
Well, glad to have you back. I want to talk about a bunch of stuff, and I want to start off with how our latest inflation might have affected your rates. And look, it's affected everything. I don't know why it wouldn't affect you guys.
Right. I mean, from the cost of parts and replacements, but also our service providers that we use, and they have employees and they have insurance and they have, responsibilities that they, and vehicles. And so, although we've been able to keep our renewals at a minimum, our new plans at a minimum, they actually had gone down from 2024 to 2025 in a couple areas, but $10 nominal. But we also minimized the number of plans that we offered because we found that we used to be able to more a la carte with appliances, but we found that it was such a small percentage that people were purchasing the a la carte. Just keeping it real here.
Yep.
That we eliminated that and did more bundles.
Okay.
But I just recently had our national sales meeting, and we had a speaker come from the HVAC industry, and they were telling us that R22, which is in its continued phase out, right? But a 20-gallon jug, which most repairs are about 5 to 8 pounds, but a 20-pound jug. Right. Wholesale is $1,200 right now.
And what she's talking about is the stuff it takes to refill your air conditioner.
The refrigerant.
The refrigerant. And as it's being phased out, it's getting even more and more expensive.
It's liquid gold is what I've been calling it. And so the fact that our plans, and not everybody's plans do include it. So our plans include the cost of refrigerant on a covered repair. Right. A lot of my competitors are $10 a pound, $20 a pound.
They're adding it in, a
$400 handling fee, and so it can end up costing you more than the cost of a plan.
I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of times with home warranty plans, just like any other insurance, you got to really read the fine print. Because in some of these commercials, they talk about, well, just look for the cheapest one you can get. Yeah, you might get the cheapest one, but you're getting what you pay for, guys. You're not gonna like when they say, oh, by the way, we don't cover that.
Right. I didn't bring it with me today, but I recently wrote a poem with the help of ChatGPT about home warranty, and it's entitled "The Devil Is in the Detail." Okay. And so I'll spare you, but it was just it really is. It's like we are not apples to apples
Ever.
down,
Yeah.
down the road. It's like you have to read those details.
Right.
It is not fun to read. It's insurance.
Yeah.
It's something that is very unlikely that people will read fully. I mean, if you get
Yeah.
it digitally, I always tell people, here's a couple links. Here, F1 or on your computer, type in a word that you're looking for, and then see what comes up under that.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
Carly does that all the time.
it's my favorite thing, and it's
Yeah.
an easy search that way. If you really want to know, well, and you really should want to know.
Well, yeah. I mean,
If we deny a claim and you say, well, how was I supposed to know that? And we say, well, we sent you a declaration page, and your response is, well, I didn't read that.
That's not a good response.
It's kind of
Sorry.
like when you're driving down the road and you're going 55 and it's 35
Yeah.
and you get pulled over and you
Yeah.
say, well, I didn't know because I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
The cop's probably not going to care.
yeah, probably not. Yep, that's probably true. I look. I think that when it comes, and look, the fine print is brutal, but yours is actually outlined pretty easily. You can read your form and you can see what's covered, what's
Yes.
not, and that's what I do. Whenever so we have a lot of properties, we have a lot of clients, and we'll call. I'll call every now and then, and I'll look on the form, and I'll look for that area. Let's say, hey, Harv, my hot water heater just went out, but the claim's been denied because of blah 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 blah. So I'll look it up, and I'll see, and I'll find out where or why it might be in my own research,
Right.
and then I'll contact you guys. Say,
Right.
hey, geez, tell me why, and then we'll find out why, and we'll see. We'll hear a variety of things. Sometimes, for you guys, it's generally good response, and I can get a response. Sometimes the other guys, it's just a terrible response. I remember not your company, but I called another company, and it was a hot water heater, and I said, they said, well, gee, it's evident to us that periodic maintenance hasn't been done on that unit, and I'm thinking that's a 26-year-old hot water heater. I mean, how much longer are you guys expecting
Right.
this thing to last?
And I'm happy to say that Old Republic Home Protection does not deny claims due to lack of maintenance.
Yeah.
We might require in an AC situation, we might require the coils to be cleaned.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that resolves the issue.
Yeah, that's all that needs to happen. Yeah.
And we don't do the cleaning, so somebody
Right.
would have to pay for that. But
Right.
if it failed and we wouldn't deny if
Okay.
it failed because of that.
Okay,
and
good.
That's, because we have a lot of competitors that
Right.
will.
Yeah, they do. They do it all the time. And one of the reasons we work with you guys is we don't get the same thing we get from other guys. The other guys, the first thing you do is deny.
Right.
Yeah, we ain't doing that one. And then you got to call them and they say, oh, well, yeah, I guess we could do that. And you got to convince them to do it. You guys, I don't have to do that. So
No.
that's one of the reasons I like working with you guys. And particularly with Stacia, because I'll call her and she'll say, let's figure it out. Let's see what's going on. And we get it worked out. And then there are sometimes legitimately where it can't be covered. And I understand that. As long as when we read it and understand it, I explain to my client, sorry, that's
Right.
not covered.
I had a recent water heater claim. People had lived in the house about 2 or 3 days and called in a claim.
Yeah.
It was leaking, which is fine. I mean, things can happen overnight.
It does happen.
However,
Houses know somehow.
right.
I'm just saying. I've seen it many times.
But we dispatched someone out, and the stand that the water heater was on was just covered in mold.
Oh,
And mold doesn't happen
Not in a couple
within
days,
a couple
yeah.
days.
Yeah.
And so that's considered
That's a pre-existing
pre-existing condition.
Yeah,
And it
that's
was
another story.
obvious. It also had some wonky electrical and
and they had
in
just
front
bought
of
it?
it, the
They had
H-
just bought the house?
yes. So there was furnace piping that ran in front of it, but they had opted to not have a home inspection, which we don't require. So it's
I
okay.
do.
Well, we don't require it.
Yeah, I know.
However, what's $300 at the end of
my
the day
goodness.
to kind of have a little bit of insight on what might be going on with your home before you
Right.
invest hundreds of thousands of dollars.
They're thinking, and here's what they were thinking, and maybe they got some bad advice from somebody. Oh,
Right.
the home warranty cover whatever the problems you got.
Yes.
What a silly thing to think.
Absolutely.
That's ridiculous.
I
Yeah.
always tell people when I'm in meetings, I'm like, if you are the real estate agent that says, "Oh, get a home warranty, it'll cover everything," I'm like, I
Yeah.
have some referrals to give you that aren't me.
Yeah, we're going to tell you the truth. Yeah.
Because I won't be able to meet that expectation.
Of course not.
And then it deteriorates everybody's relationship down the road, whether it's a
Sure.
referral for the agent, future business for me from the
Yeah.
agent.
Well, I certainly hope that wasn't an agent that told that. Maybe it was some uncle and said, "Oh, you don't, I don't know." But sometimes people get bad advice, and that's what happened here. Clearly.
Yeah, I would be led to believe from the call I got from the agent that it was the agent's advice.
Oh my! Oh no! What do you mean you won't cover it? It's a
right.
problem. Yeah. Well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Whoops.
but I find that if people will take just a few minutes to sit down and speak with me,
Yeah.
I'd rather be just like, I'd rather educate and empower
Well, that's
people
why we're
to
here.
know these things.
That's why we do
Exactly.
this, and that's why I love that you come on and talk about these stories that we have, because this is what people need to hear. They need to understand. First of all, two key takeaways from this, guys, and really important. Number one, always do a home inspection. End of story. Don't tell me there's an excuse for the 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, 8. I don't care how much it costs. It's worth it. Just do it.
Right.
And hopefully nothing's discovered, and you can have peace of mind. But if something is discovered, you can address it, or
Right.
decide not to buy the home.
Right.
And when it comes to warranties, know that they don't cover absolutely everything, and they certainly will not cover a pre-existing condition, guys. If you're buying a home and something's broken when you bought it, very likely they're not going to cover
Right.
that.
And if it's obvious, if it's a known,
Right.
or, we always say if it's by a simple visual or simple mechanical test that it's not working, we're going to deny it.
Yep, there you go. And that's legitimate. Hey guys, we're coming up on our first commercial break. We're on a few commercials. We'll come right back. We got a lot more to talk about, so stay tuned. We'll be back in just a minute. Very good. That was excellent. You don't cover smells and noises, huh?
I know, and I get it all the time.
I like that.
Smells and
I like that.
I was wondering what.
I get it all the time.
Smells.
I did have people say it smells like something's burning,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we have no way to know who's
First of all, call the fire department.
right.
Yeah, your house
You know,
could
and if
catch
and if you
Smells like something burning? Yeah, call the fire
and
department.
if you smell gas, you should call the gas company.
Yeah.
You know, but I would say that the most common smell issue is garbage disposals, and I'm like,
Isn't that funny?
you got to clean that. That's,
Yeah.
that's what us.
Run some ice cubes down it.
Right.
That's what I do. I throw a few
always-
ice cubes down there.
Whenever I have citrus in the house and I use it, I it's chopped
Mm-hmm. Throw the
and
peels in there.
Well, I put it in the freezer, and then I
Yeah.
put it in because now it's frozen and it makes it
Yeah.
smell better.
I'll put it in there and then I'll follow it with ice. Usually what I'll
Mm-hmm.
do. Yeah. Okay, good. Let's do segment 2. Here we go. Segment 3, I'm going to do monthly market update, Carly, for segment 3. Here we go, segment 2. Welcome back. I'm Harvey Blankfeld. You're listening to Las Vegas Real Estate Now. We're here every Saturday at 11 a.m. You ever have a question or an idea for the program, please call or text me at 702-203-1165. Again, that's 702-203-1165. With me now in studio is Stacia Brain here from Old Republic Home Protection. Now, listen, you just heard Stacia talk about Old Republic warranties, and I want to let you know that if you're thinking you might want a warranty, if you're buying a home, you're thinking about a warranty, or maybe you don't have a warranty right now and you're thinking about one, go ahead and text me, and I'll put you in touch with Stacia. We'll get you hooked up with a warranty. And obviously, I endorse this company. We use them a lot of time. We recommend them to a lot of our clients. So just text Stacia to 702-203-1165, and we'll get you hooked up. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome, of course.
Because my product is better than the direct-to-consumer product that we offer. So
Okay. And you do have a direct-to-consumer
we
product.
do have a
I
direct-to-consumer
didn't know that.
product,
Okay. I
but
thought
it
you-
is less comprehensive
Right.
and costs more.
So let me help you guys. So you call me. You basically, Stacia and I will work it out. We'll get you a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get you hooked up with the realtor version.
Yes,
Okay. The better version.
the better version.
Yeah, just don't tell your boss you said that on the radio.
Oh,
yeah.
she's okay with it because I don't
Okay.
get any benefit from the direct-to-consumer, nor does she.
Okay, very good. Excellent. Okay, so one of the notes that I forgot to mention when we spoke before was the idea that you guys don't cover smells or noises. And I
Right.
love that. Explain yourself, smells and noises.
So one of my first claim calls when I first started was a person that closed on a home and their refrigerator had an alarm on it that would not shut off.
Oh,
So we cover the system function as far as, is it cooling? Is the refrigerator cooling your food? Is the freezer freezing your food?
right.
So I'm sure that it was very annoying. I have no doubt at all.
Yeah.
But the part of the refrigerator that needs to cool.
It was functioning.
It was functioning.
Right.
So that was my first with that. I'll get, like, hey, my AC is really loud
Yeah.
in the summertime, and I'll say, well, but is it coming to the desired temperature? Because
Right.
sadly, it probably is. There is an issue that
Right.
it might need, but if it's functioning and it's doing what it's supposed to do, It could be a maintenance issue. And
That's probably what it is.
you know, we don't do maintenance.
Right.
We do repairs and replacements. It's like your garage door, if it squeaks, you know, use some lubricant on that.
Yeah.
And if
Make sure you choose the right one on your garage door. Be careful about that.
that is true.
Yeah.
It, you know, again, these things are, you know, becoming a homeowner costs money on top
Yeah.
of just having your mortgage.
Indeed.
And utilities. You have some responsibilities now that you probably didn't have as a renter.
Right.
And maintaining your equipment is one of those things.
Yeah.
And so I was saying in between the break, the garbage disposal smell is one of the biggest. Garbage disposals are a big claim that we get just in general. People,
Well, yeah, and they do break some. I mean,
Right,
you know,
but-
they happen. Somebody put something silly down there, and
people clean their fish tank and they get rocks in them, and that is definitely a denial.
that's going to make it smell good, I'm sure.
That's not normal wear and tear.
No.
But so when it smells, that's, you know, that's something where you need to clean it.
Right.
You know, it gets
Stuff gets
ick in
stuck
it.
down there,
Yeah.
gets yucky. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to, like I was talking about, I throw ice down there periodically, and my wife buys these little balls of
Plinks.
Yeah, that's it, plinks. Yeah, she buys those and she sticks those down there sometimes. You know what problem we're having is the washing machine now. For some reason, you have to do special additional maintenance on washing machines. It's worse than ever.
They have more rubber gaskets and
It's
seals
crazy.
than ever before.
Yeah.
I love. So I am going to a dishwasher. There's a product called Glisten.
Okay.
And it's called Dishwasher Magic. It's the most amazing stuff
Dishwasher magic.
ever.
I'll tell Helene she's going to
Yeah,
be excited.
it's amazing.
What about for washing machine? They have a
So for washing machines, they have one as well.
Oh, okay.
And I like it, but I love their dishwasher
dishwasher
product.
stuff. Okay.
Because there's filters there, and if you don't clean the plate off, and
That's
this
the
and
thing.
that, and it can
Yeah.
get clogged in the line, and
Yeah.
you know, and so I did multifamily property management for years, and I'd have some janky looking dishwashers, and it
I'll
would make
bet.
those look gorgeous,
Really?
sparkling. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't get a kickback from Glisten, but wow.
Glisten, okay. I'll have
It's
to
a
remember
really
that.
good product.
Okay,
and I think
nice.
it's like $6 or $7, but
Yeah.
Lowe's, Walmart, Home Depot.
Okay.
It's
We'll
pretty,
have to get some because it's for us. It's been lately. It's been the washing machine, and Helene can't smell. She doesn't smell anything. I
Oh.
smell. I put on my t-shirt. I say, "Yeah, this doesn't smell right," you know, and I'll know it's from the washing machine.
at the end of the day, vinegar is going to be your best friend.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly right. Okay, so listen, we talked about that.
Sorry.
No, I thought that this was good because I think we need to understand the nature of a home warranty. And you know, in our books, we have a book we have for buyers. We have a separate book for sellers. In the buyer book, we talk about the difference between a home warranty and home insurance because people get them confused.
I almost brought my flyer up with that today. I have a flyer that specifically kind of really briefly,
Yeah.
you know, but says home warranty versus homeowner's insurance. And
Right.
if your water heater goes and you're gone for the weekend and it damages your floors and your drywall,
That may be an insurance claim. It might not be
Right.
covered though, but it might be an
Right.
insurance claim. But yeah, you'll fix the hot water heater.
yeah, we'll fix the hot water heater, but we don't cover secondary damage.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, that's why when you have your hot water installed, you want to have that little pan and
Pan and
pipe
the
and
drain
make sure you
line
send
and-
that water out the driveway and it doesn't mess up the house. And then also when you go on vacation, turn the water off to the house.
Absolutely.
Just turn it off. You know, how many times have we seen this? It happens way too often.
Absolutely.
So that's another good tip for you guys. Okay, so okay, we talked about smells and noises, which is good because I think people, you know, because that happens. It happens all the time. And you're right. Home ownership is more than just a mortgage payment.
It is.
You've got to take care of the house. There's periodic maintenance that needs to be done on the property, and too many times, people just forget or don't know or don't understand. And so, guys, you know, Google it. Just look it up.
And you know,
see the things you need to be doing.
What, as a policyholder with us, we have a online portal that you can create, like your cable bill or whatever.
Oh, sure.
And you can create that online portal, and it'll have updates and recommendations and how-tos and DIY stuff that you would be responsible for
Right.
as a homeowner, and you know, periodic maintenance and checking where a GFI is, and you know, and things.
Yeah.
You know, it gives you those tips and tricks so that sometimes maybe part of your house doesn't have power. And it's just a GFI.
GFI got tripped,
and
yep.
how frustrating to pay. We have a trade call fee, like a copay or a
Yeah.
deductible. It's $100. And if somebody pushes a button, whew,
That's it.
You know, and
Yeah.
so it's to help familiarize yourself with your home and the things that you would want to know as a homeowner. I acknowledge that not everybody wants to do home maintenance,
Right.
but pushing a button or tripping a breaker to find out if that's what corrects it. If you want to pay $100, guess what? We'll come
Bring the
out there
pro
and we'll
out.
do
and
it.
teach you how to do it so you don't have to do it next time
Right.
at least. Yeah,
But I'd rather spend my $100 somewhere else.
indeed. I have a good story about that. We moved in our first house here in Las Vegas that we purchased. The power in the bathroom went out. It was like and the GFI in that bathroom hadn't tripped, and I'm like, I don't know. So I looked in the breaker box, nothing there, and then I had to call an electrician. Say, hey, I need somebody to come out. They came out and said, yeah, and they went into the other bathroom, and that's where the GFI switch was for this bathroom. And so you got to look. You never know. It's not. It may not be as and actually, there's some logic to that. Apparently, that's the way they're supposed to do it.
I don't know. I have a GFI in my upstairs hallway that runs from my bathroom, and somebody put in a hot tub, like a jetted bathtub that I don't use, and look forward someday.
Nobody ever uses those.
Being able to replace, but it's in my hallway.
Yeah.
It's where I plug my vacuum cleaner.
Yeah. So,
it's supposed to be by water.
Again, here's another good takeaway for you. If you've lost power in a specific area of the home, it's probably a GFCI trip,
Right.
and or a breaker somewhere. That's probably what it is, and you may have to just look around and find it. May not be where you think it is,
And it's not going to hurt to push them all.
Yeah,
It won't
just
damage
reset
anything.
them. Just reset them. Just go around and reset, and you'll find out that good. And there's nothing to it. Just push the button. That's all you got to do. Push the button, reset, boom, pop it back in. And then you're all set. Then you've got your power, and you saved yourself $100.
Right, and that goes a lot of times with garbage disposals. We were talking underneath has a reset button.
That's right.
Doesn't always do the trick. There could be a piece of glass or something in there that's jamming it up. But those are things that it's just good to familiarize yourself.
Yeah, the
with
garbage
their home.
disposal. There's usually like a key or a hex or Allen wrench underneath. You can twist it a couple times. Maybe that'll loosen up whatever's in there, and then you hit the reset and you can get it going. That happens every now and then. You can get that thing going. Hey, listen, guys, we're coming up on the bottom of the hour. We're going to run a couple quick commercials and come right back. And when we come back, guess what? Monthly market update, charts on the radio. So stay tuned. We'll be back in just a minute. All right. Let's do charts on the radio. Here we go.
Did you like my comparison of a 74, the price of a home in 74?
I saw that. It's a scary number. Yeah, my folks bought.
I'm going to take the mouse real quick.
What's that?
I'm going to take the mouse real quick. I'm going to crop out.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, my folks bought their house in Baltimore for $13,000 in 1970. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, $13,000. Wow. Amazing.
You should Google it. You should Zillow it and see what the Zestimate is of it today.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's crazy.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, it was a little duplex, a little duplex
Right.
on a busy street. It was one of the cheapest houses in the neighborhood, but we could afford it, so it was what we got. Yeah, nice.
And that's the thing. If you can afford it,
That's right.
Why not?
And that's what I say to people right now. Don't worry about interest rates so much.
No.
If you can afford it and you can buy, do it.
Yeah.
Because the prices over the long haul are always going to go up. Good? Okay. Let me take my mouse back and put it over here. Okay. All right, here we go. Segment 3. Welcome back. I'm Harvey Blankfeld. You're listening to Las Vegas Real Estate Now. We're here every Saturday at 11 a.m. You ever have a question or an idea for the program, please call or text me at 702-203-1165. Again, that's 702-203-1165. And here we go with our monthly market update. And this is an update that we're doing for February 2025. I have to remind you guys that when we do February's update, we're using January data. And when I do these, I'm talking about single-family homes. Because that's predominantly where I work. And so we're just comparing single-family home data from January in our February 2025 monthly market update. So here, let's see what we got. So for starters, right now, currently available 5,514 homes. That's up about 150 from last month. Under contract, a little over 2264. That's up about 500 over last month, which is a nice increase.
Yeah.
Sold in the last 30 days, down a little bit, 1557, a little bit under last month. We have 3.5 months worth of inventory, and our average days on market is 34. That's up a little bit from last month. And then I've got our median sales price at $480, $450. I think that the paper said $485, which is a new record. We're at a new record high for single-family homes, just barely, crossing over that. Last year at this time, interestingly enough, we only had 3,700 homes on the market, about the same number under contract. a little fewer sold in that 30-day period, and we only had a little over 2.5 months worth of inventory. And our average day market last year was over 44 days. Now, and then last year the median price was $445. So we're up about $40,000, about 8% year over year, 8-9% year over year in terms of appreciation. So that's a strong appreciation rate year over year in a year when people were thinking the price was going to go down. I'm just saying. I just want to make that point to people because people keep thinking it's going to go down. Right now, there's not enough inventory, and I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of inventory this year either, because there's still a lot of sellers out there with really low interest rates, right? Stacey's pointing to herself.
Yeah, I won't move.
Yeah, you've
my
got a good
interest rate
rate.
is 2.99%.
Yeah, it's tough to give that up.
It's almost free money. I mean, it's not, but it's.
Yeah, it's tough to give that up. I understand. Look, I'm in the same boat. I mean, but you know, if you're in a situation where you don't have to move, or you're thinking you might want to move, yeah, don't move. But some people have to move. Some people, you know, they just had twins, or they just got a new job, or whatever. You know,
All the kids moved out. And
you got to move. You got to move, and so you're gonna have to give that thing up. That's the people who are selling.
Right.
Okay.
And they will always exist.
Absolutely, always. Okay, so let's see what else we got here. So here's our stack chart. You can see we only have one little piece for the 2025, and that's January, which is up a little bit over last year. And last year, when we look at the summation of last year, we can see that it was a little better than 23. 24 was a little better than 23, but they're two of the weakest years we've had in a long time. We're going back all the way back to 2007, 2008. The numbers were way, way off in terms of the amount of volume. That's the number of homes sold. Okay, so now we move into the months of inventory. This is showing we're right around that 4-month period. We've been there for a while now, and we seem to be just hovering right around 3-4 months. That's where we seem to be right now, and it's going to continue to be that way for a while, I fear, as we're working through this market, which is actually pretty normal. Here's our median price. You can see they did have us at $485 for this month. Back in January of 23, we were at $425, and a year ago, like I said, we were at $445. So that's where we are right now. That's it, but it's not a crazy line, guys. It's a pretty flat line here. It's not going nuts. It's just kind of a steady, flowing, simple, straight line, pretty much. Luxury sales. Okay, I've been talking about this for the last few months. I want to talk about it again. And this is the interesting thing here. I'm going to do a little comparison. For those of you who decide to look at the charts, I want you to see these and see the comparison. This chart shows $1 million and over. And currently in January of this year, we did 118 sales at $1 million or more, which is more than we've ever done in January. Wow. That's a big number. You know, that we keep, well, actually, that's true, 122. We did 122 in 2022, so it's a little bit off of that number, but a big number again. But I want you to see the houses. We also have the same chart for 3 million and over, and let's look at that. It's almost identical in terms of its shape and scale. See how this is, Carly? See that? See, look at, I'm going to go back to the previous one. I want you guys, it's the same ratio. You see that?
Yep.
So even though we're looking at 1 million versus 3 million, we're seeing the same type of ratios, which makes perfect sense to me. But now we're starting to qualify luxury homes as 3 million and more instead of 1 million or more. Yeah, I know, right?
I'm just blessed to own a home, but I'm nowhere near that today.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Who does? We're not those numbers. Okay, so here we are. Here's my line graph for February 2025. The orange is the number of homes sold, and you can see we're down about 1557. That's what we had on our chart. And that number's going down. It's been steadily going down since like August. Each month it's crept down a little bit in terms of the number of homes closed. Now, the number of available homes went up, and it's staying up there. It was peaked back in November at a little over 6,000, and now we're back at 5,500 here in February. And then the blue line represents that median price. Again, pretty flat. That median price is not going in a whole lot direction. On my chart, I had it at 455 last year at this time, or a month before that, 455, and we're at 485. So I had quite a little bit of a difference there in terms of what I saw versus what they were reporting through the local board. But what we're seeing overall, guys, is this: is that we're past the election. The election always influences real estate.
Absolutely.
Shouldn't, but it does. It does. We're past that, but we're still seeing a little bit of a hangover from that in the holidays. Every year, I always say this, and here we are. The market warms as the weather warms here in Southern Nevada, and the weather starts to warm Valentine's Day. That's what I've seen every year, and here we are. Valentine's Day. Now we're recording this on Wednesday, Saturday. Yesterday was Valentine's Day. This is the weekend when we'll see. Now we're recording this on Wednesday. Thursday is supposed to be like a downpour. We're supposed to get like all this rain that we haven't had for well over 200 days. No rain. Now they're going to make up for it all tomorrow.
Right. We'll flood and
Yeah. So we're going to get some rain. But ideally, we're going to see the weather and the weather will start to warm. Week after week, you'll see it warm. Open houses become a little more popular. More people are thinking about making that move when the kids get out of school. So all those things are going to start to happen. So those of you out there who are thinking about buying or selling, you might want to get ahead of that.
yeah.
I always talk to sellers. We talk about seasonality of real estate, but the truth of the matter is when you're buying and selling real estate, it only takes one as a seller. I just need one buyer who's willing to give you a number that's going to make you happy. That's what I want to find for you. And in terms of being a buyer, maybe you want to get out there before all the other buyers get out there and see if you can't get one. So I'm going to tell you, guys, if you're out there kind of waiting until things, waiting for the market to come around and so forth. First of all, I don't see prices going down. I just don't see it. I'm sorry. And we don't like to predict too much, but I just don't see any indication that's going to happen.
No, and I don't think that at this point interest rates are going to have a big jump one way or the other. And I'm not a lender.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Tomorrow is a different day and I don't have a crystal ball. But like we were saying earlier, if you can afford it, if you can make that payment, I mean,
buy it.
Now's always the time.
Yeah, I mean, here we are bragging about our wonderful interest rates that we have, which is making everyone else feel kind of upset.
Sorry.
But I understand. I'm sorry, but the truth of the matter is that shouldn't bother you so much because eventually you could lower your interest rate. Because my first rate wasn't this.
Oh no.
No, I refinanced to this number.
Yes.
After I've owned it for many years.
Yep.
So I'm going to say to you guys, look, if you're waiting for them to get to 3, you're waiting for another pandemic because we're not going to see that in a long time.
And now, if you wait for them to get to 3s, a luxury home is now going to be a $5 million home.
Exactly.
And your entry level home is going to be $1 million, which makes me just shudder. But it's, the prices are just going to continue to grow.
Absolutely. The prices they're going to continue to go up. Supply and demand will dictate that.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt about it. Now, the economic outlook, now that we have a new president, we have a new White House, we have a new Congress, everything's changed. We're seeing changes in the way our federal government is wanting to oversee big business and the housing industry. And so you might see things loosen up a bit. I just saw that the CFPB is being dismantled, which was kind of interesting, which is very directly impacts our real estate industry because they write some of the documents that we use to close transactions. And so it'll be interesting to see how that all transpires. All right, listen, guys, we're coming up on another break. We're going to run a few quick commercials. We got to come back. We got one more segment. We got a lot more to talk about, so stay tuned. We'll be back in just a minute. Okay, good. Segment 4. What do we got today? Oh, here we go. We did this. Yep. See, he talked about they broke the record. Let's see what's in this one. I forgot. Right. Let's see.
Is this your friend?
This is Patrick.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Patrick. He wrote this one. Yeah, he was on a couple weeks ago.
Well, last quarter he was my counterpart.
Oh, right. Yes, that's right. We'll talk about the solar too. We'll talk about these two things. Okay. I'm not going to talk about, this is about insurance. Yeah, we'll stick with this. Okay. All right, here we go. Segment 4. Welcome back. I'm Harvey Blankfeld. You're listening to Las Vegas Real Estate Now. We're here every Saturday at 11 a.m. You ever have a question or an idea for the program, please call or text me at 702-203-1165. Again, that's 702-203-1165. With me now in studio is Stacia Brain here from Old Republic Home Protection. Stacia, I found a couple of articles I want to talk to our listeners about. The first one in the RJ was written by our good friend Patrick Blennerhassett. And the headline reads, Las Vegas Valley home prices broke a record in January. We kind of talked about this in the monthly market update. He wrote this just this past week. And he goes in the article, he says, home prices in Las Vegas Valley broke a record in January. The median price of a house sold in Southern Nevada last month was $485,000. I had it at $484 and change, but it changes day to day a little bit. The highest ever recorded, breaking the record set in May of 2022 at $482. This is also a 9% increase over a year ago, which is what I had described. LVR pulls this data from the multiple listing service where the vast majority of homes are listed and sold. Now, There are some homes sold outside of multiple lists, so they're not included in this data. New homes are not included in this data. And every now and then there are for sale by owners, and there are other transfers of properties and major, sometimes they're not using, but most, I would say probably 98% of the homes that convey are
Right.
done
It's
through
such a
multiple
small
lists.
percentage outside
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah. Going on in the article, he says the Valley is in a housing crisis, and he's been talking about this for a while, as a lack of land to develop has coupled with high mortgage rates to slow down building and increase construction and labor costs. And now we're talking about tariffs on metal, which is not going to help matters either.
It certainly isn't.
A lot of these guys are using the aluminum studs and steel for major building construction. This is a big deal. Hopefully, it does not curtail our ability to build more homes, but we'll see. Economic uncertainty abounds during the first few weeks of President Donald Trump's administration. Analysts think mortgage rates could go up because of a trade war between the United States, Canada, Mexico, and China. Tariffs could also potentially increase price on building materials, as I just described. These are the things we're dealing with right now.
Right.
And he goes on, he describes it that way. He calls it a crisis. I think it's a crisis in the sense that it's really difficult for entry-level buyers. That's where the crisis really is.
Right. I mean, you can't have affordable housing when you can't even affordably build housing.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I mean, and we don't expect people to build them and lose money. That's
Right.
That's
That's not what business is about.
No, I mean, this is our society. This is the way we work. This is the capitalist society. We want to do this right. We want the people who do well to make money. That's fine. I got no problem with that. The problem really is that there's just not enough opportunity.
Right.
We need more opportunity. We need more inventory. We need the government to help us get more inventory. People want to live here. They want to live in Southern Nevada. There's a lot of excitement about it. We need more product to do it. And again, I talk about this before, and I can't help but harp on this a little bit, guys. Those of us who already own a home might be saying, yeah, I'm all good. I got mine. I'm fine. Don't need to worry about this. You do need to worry about it.
Yes.
You need to worry about it because if there's nobody in an entry-level home, and we don't have individual home buyers buying entry-level homes, and they're all bought by big Wall Street or large firms doing that, there's nobody to buy your home when you want to move.
Right.
We need those entry-level buyers to move up to the homes where we bought that second, third home. We need those entry-level buyers to be able to take that money, that equity they built to move into the home that we're trying to sell. Right. That's what we need right now. If we lose that base of that pyramid, that's a problem.
Well, and it kind of, as depressing as it sounds, we lose that opportunity for the American dream.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, we talk about that all the time. It's important. It is an important element of the American dream is home ownership. And and I don't know if you've seen this station, but I see a lot of people online and on TikTok and all these other social media platforms talking about, hey, you should never own. You should just rent. You should just rent. Rent's better. Rent's so much better. Look, everyone's different, and I'm not saying home ownership is for everybody.
Absolutely.
But don't tell me that it's better to rent than to own because you're going to be able to save more money. Here's the problem. Their assumption is this, and maybe for some people this is true. They're making the assumption you're going to take whatever money you save on renting and put it into some type of savings plan.
Sure.
Or invest it in the
But
market.
who does that?
You're going to put that. Nobody does that. That's a problem.
That's why I sell. That's why I have home warranties,
It's-
because people don't put money aside to self-insure.
That's right.
They certainly aren't going to put, or it's not going to grow at 9%.
That's right.
Year over year.
And I'm not here. Look, I'm not here. Look, I'm a bad saver. I say it all the time. I was a terrible saver. I've got the vast majority of my personal wealth is in my home. It's there. That's where it is. And thank goodness it's there, because without it,
Right.
I'd have very little.
Right.
That's where we are. I could have been paying rent to somebody else.
Right.
And
But your rent is dictated by the market.
Yep.
And so you could have a $700 studio one month, and then when you go to renew, your studio could be $1,200.
that's exactly right.
And your mortgage, although there might be some fluctuation with taxes or what have you,
Stays the same.
It's
For 30 years.
For 30 years, you've got maybe a $20 here, $40 there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your insurance might go up and your taxes might go up, but that's just a small element of it. You're not going to get a 10% increase in your
No.
monthly payment. It's not
No.
going to happen. And particularly here in Nevada, where they cap the amount of money your taxes can go up.
Right.
Now, insurance has gone up a lot lately, but
It has,
But
but-
still, it's not as significant as rent.
Right.
Rent's going up a lot more, and so that's what we have to pass on to you guys. Those of you who are out there renting and reading these articles, saying, "Oh, I'm doing the right thing. Yes, I'm renting. I'm doing the right thing." Yeah, I wanted you to do some math. I want you to do some math.
Depends on what you want your end game to be. If you want to move
Yeah.
around all the time,
That's
hey,
Yep.
rent
That's
is
true.
great. You can be more mobile.
Right. Yep. It gives you that
Unless you want to
flexibility.
be a landlord.
Well, yeah. I mean, for me, I always say, unless you're planning on being there at least 3 to 4 years, then don't
Right.
buy. But
Right.
if you're planning on being there 3 to 4 years, you absolutely should buy.
Absolutely.
And that's because, over the long haul, you're always going to not, like I said, my home, we built our home in 2006, maybe the worst possible time to ever build a home in Las Vegas, but it's when we
True.
did it. And guess what? We're still in it and we're doing great.
Right.
We've weathered the storm and we're fine. And so even the worst of housing markets, and we are sitting years later and we're sitting pretty. So
Right.
it happens. And we refinanced in the midst of it. How about that? We
Right.
refinanced at the point when we said, hey, it's a good time to refinance. Let's refinance and lower our payment. And we did it, and it's worked. And that's what home ownership is about. There's also other advantages to home ownership that we probably don't talk about enough. There's still tremendous tax advantages too.
Right.
You're gonna reduce your tax liability dramatically by owning a home. There's also the idea that you can do with it what you want
Yeah,
inside.
You can paint your walls every other week if you want to.
That's
You
right.
can-
You want the pink room for the girls and the blue room for the boys. Then go for it. You can do that stuff. You don't have to get permission from the landlord.
Right.
So there's so many advantages to that. And as I say all along, the first one's the hardest.
Yeah.
The first purchase is the hardest because you got to write a big check. I know that it's hard. You got to save money. You got to save that money. But once you get that first one under your belt, the rest of them are easy.
And I heard the best comment the other day from a lender. There are programs out there to help with, the down payment, but
Yeah.
instead of calling them down payment assistance, using someone else's money to leverage your biggest purchase.
Yeah.
And I liked the way that was said because she made she likened it to, you wouldn't go up to Taylor Swift and say, hey, would you like to use a down payment assistance program? You would say, would you like to leverage someone else's money to make
Yeah.
this purchase? And it just sounds
Yeah. It's a financial.
more desirable.
It's a financial term. It's a strong term. OPM,
Yep.
other people's money.
Yep.
We
And
talk about it all the time. It's a
not
good way to
to-
grow your wealth.
Not to make it about me again, but I had somebody the other day that's a real estate agent. He's like, oh, I make all this money and I have all this. And, but I don't have a home warranty. And I said, well, you're not required to have a home warranty. I mean, it's
Yeah.
an option.
Right.
I said, but if you're a wise business person and you have all this money and your ACs are 20 years old, which they are.
Wow.
I said, why not leverage someone else's
Right.
money, my company, not mine personally, for potentially a new $16,000 AC system for $800 that you would pay, and maybe you'd have some out of pocket.
Right.
But I said leveraging other people's money so
Right.
you keep your own.
Right. I heard it described similarly. I heard it described like for a home warranty. I heard it described as you're paying someone else to take the risk.
Absolutely.
That's what you're doing. You're passing the risk on to the warranty company as opposed to handling it yourself. And I think that makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely, it does.
And don't tell my warranty company, but all my air conditioners are about 26 years old. But don't tell.
Mine are getting old, and I'm like, oh, please have them go in like right after in the same contract year.
Yeah, let's have
because
them all pile them up.
I don't want that because if one goes in one contract year, I risk the chance of not being renewed because of the high loss.
Oh, sure.
And so I need them to go one after the other
There
in
you
the
go.
same contract year.
Yep. You'll get a call. Somebody took a sledgehammer to the other
Yeah.
three. I don't know what happened there. Anyway.
With the new change outs with now A2L systems, and we haven't had any yet because ACs aren't going out right now. And
Right.
at our national sales meeting, I said, I volunteer my 2 ACs as tribute for you guys to
There
figure
you
out
go.
how to do
That's
it.
right.
I'm like, please go ahead.
Indeed. Hey, I got to say, what a fun real estate hour we've had. I got to thank Mark, our production director. Thank Carly once again for doing a great job. And thank our outstanding expert contributor today, that being Stacia Brain from Old Republic Home Protection. You've been listening to Las Vegas Real Estate Now. I'm your host, Harvey Blankfeld. Next week, we'll have another fantastic hour for you. We're going to have Rick Senemy here and Ben Grove. That's our equity title, Rick Senemy, and Ben Grove's our home inspector. If you ever have a question about real estate or any of the other topics we covered, just call me off air or text me at 702-203-1165. Again, that's 702-203-1165. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, that being LV Real Estate Radio. Like and follow us on social media, our handle being at LV Real Estate Radio. And I want to thank you, our listeners, for joining us this week. Remember, while we seek to educate, empower, and engage with you, we want